My name is Katie, and tonight is a special night because I have Cheri here with me. And Cheri and I are doing a collaboration together where Cheri is going to be doing a hand quilting teaching tutorial style class. And this tutorial will cover a few months because we're not going to rush through it. But I am going to turn it over to her, and she is going to tell you a little bit about herself, her channel, and what her plans are for this collaboration, because she's going to be the teacher and I'm going to be the grasshopper.
Uh-huh.
And I don't, you might, do you get the analogy about the grasshopper?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so us older generation will get the analogy about what that means about being a grasshopper. So, some of you younger folk, maybe not so much. She would have had to watch. They would have had to watch Kung Fu to understand that little analogy. Okay, go ahead, and I'm going to spotlight you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go gather up the things I need to get.
Should we? I could chit chat for a little bit because there's like 4 people in. But
so far, I haven't seen anyone say hi.
No.
Hello to whoever is hiding in there.
I'll say hi.
Okay. There says 7. What? Hey, there's Cheri. Let's see, Cheri. It says 7, but that's the TV's on, right? Did I put the TV on? I don't know. Okay. Uh-oh, I lost what I was going to do. Oh, then it's not us.
Huh?
Oh, no. What was I going to do? Oh, spotlight you. Duh.
Oh.
I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? Where is... That's interesting. Allow multi-pin. Why won't it let me pin you? That's weird. Okay. Remove permissions, multi-pin. So that's strange. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Duh. There you go. All right. I was hoping.
We're not. Huh? What was that, Katie?
I was going to ask Nikolai how many he sees in the chat now.
I see 4.
Yeah, he says 7. So
7. I don't see other.
Me either.
I guess I'm just not getting it up on my chat.
Let me see if I can see participants. I only see you and I.
Well, yeah, that would be us for the Zoom.
Yeah. That's kind of strange. So
yeah,
I guess what we could do is talk until they start showing up.
Okay. So anyhow, you go ahead if you want to work on cutting your back.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. Hey, Brenda. So Brenda's in here, so you can talk. Come up, tell them a story or something. Talk about your. I don't care what you talk about. Let me go gather up my stuff because I forgot you said we needed scrap pieces.
Yeah. Hi, Brenda. Are you going to join us tonight to hand quilt?
Linda's here too.
Okay. Linda's there. Hi, Linda. If you are, what we're doing, instead of making the actual block tonight, we're actually going to make a little. I'm going to show you how to do the plate your quilt out or your quilt block, and then I'm going to we're going to make a little sampler so that till we meet again, we can you'll be able to get your block done, or if you already have one that you wanted to do already finished, you can practice your hand stitching, hand quilting. This was my, it looks terrible, but this is my little sampler. Now, I'll go over marking your quilt also, but I marked these really heavy so that you guys could see, but you will mark them lightly. How many of you have hand quilted before?
10.
Brenda, have you? Linda, have you? My very first quilt I ever did, I should have brought that up. I didn't think about it. It was a log cabin, and I was also shown how to hand quilt. Took me 5 months to finish. It was a queen size. But I still have it, and I looked at it and I thought, dang, I didn't do too bad for the first time, because what they want is it's not that your stitches has to be tiny or anything. It's just that you want to get them consistent. You want to try to make sure they're consistent in size. A lot of people are doing the big stitch now, and still quilting, but they're doing it with a bigger needle, like a tapestry needle, and they use either you might use a heavier weight thread, like a 14 weight thread or so, but we can go into that later. But what I kind of like is that they're mixing machine quilting and hand quilting. So what they'll do is they'll go ahead and hand quilt. I'm sorry, they will machine quilt, which stabilizes the quilt. And then they go back, and in certain areas, they will do hand stitching, and they'll use color, like pearl cotton. That's what I was trying to think of, is the pearl cotton thread. They'll use in different colors or variegated, and put it throughout the blocks. That sounds pretty.
I'll be right with you
Okay.
in just a minute.
Okay. Brenda, you said that you have a frame, but really don't know how to use it. Is it the big frame, or is it the small hoop?
Oh,
The great big ones I've never used, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it was a long time ago that I hand quilted, so I had to practice up a little bit. Hi, Tammy, how you doing? Glad you joined us.
happy about that.
Katie's getting her fabric ready. If you want to do this, you can. While we're waiting. Let's see. What do I want you to do? Should we do the practice sandwich so you can see how to practice, or should I show you how to lay your quilt out? Let me know. I'm going to switch and go off of me, and I'm going to go down to my table so that you can see what I'm showing. But we can still talk. Okay. I set this up. This is the tools that I'm using. This is the hoop, except I have a different hoop also that I'm going to show you here. I borrowed these hoops but from the local. Here's one here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a laptop one, so you can set it on your lap and quilt. I think this will work good for me. But yeah, if you have a guild or something or a fabric store, they ask them if you can borrow one of the hoops if you are just trying to find out if you want to do this. Okay, I have my thread, my thimble, my needles, and I picked probably this second to the smallest, or the smallest. The smaller the needle is better. This is so that this is called a quick clip. I haven't been using it, but I think that if you were doing a big quilt, that your fingers might get sore. But these are the curved pins. So this is how you can use this. It has grooves in it. So you can use this to close this. But see, that's there. I did it. Seemed awkward, but I did it. This is my marking pencil I'm going to use because I'm using light fabrics. This is so line. in a graphite. If I had dark fabrics, I have a ceramic, this white ceramic. You want to mark lightly on your quilts because these are supposed to come out. These do come out. You can erase it or you can wash it, but heavy marks just, there's no guarantee. So do a light one. It's just you're marking just to see, keep your stitches straight. It's really what it is, and see the pattern. I did get these. I would have shown you these earlier. These are leather. They're called leather puller, needle pullers. It's just a little thin piece of leather so that if you load your needle up and you're having a hard time getting it pulled, you can use that. And then I got my scissors. So I'm just going to check. Oh, love the quilt. Okay. Tammy, do you hand quilt? Mom Jay's here. I might have missed
Must have
that.
knew what that was, huh?
Yeah, she did. She did know what that was. She said she loved it. Hi, Mama J, Andrea.
Hey everyone, I'm back over here in front of the camera, but I'm going to be sitting in the background because I'm going to be learning too.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this camera this way and at this
Okay.
angle. And
Okay.
then when I go to show you the stitches, I'm going to get up and I'm going to move my camera down close so you can see better. But
Okay.
my stitches aren't going to be, but you know, hey, we do what we can, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to take this and I'm going to remove this and remove my other tools. So if you want, you can get your piece for your block that you're going to do. You can get that out, or you can just watch us and then
Those
play
who already,
the
so
rewind.
hopefully some of them have their scrap piece that we were going to practice on.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show them with this. I'm going to explain. This is I'm a pretend quilt. Okay, I have it 4 inches bigger. I would have it 4 to 5 inches bigger than my quilt top. I have a layer of for the backing, the batting. A low loft batting is good too. It's easier to get the needle through. And then my top, and you want everything pressed and down real good. Now, if you are doing a bigger quilt, a lap quilt, not just a block, I'm going to just tell you one of the things you may want to do. You may want to lay it out on your cutting table. You may want to lay it out on your dining room table, but either get a vinyl tablecloth or something that you can protect your surface if it's a wood table. I got a big wood table downstairs, but I just wanted to let you know because when you're putting the needles in, you don't want to scratch your table. But it's no problem if you're using the surface that you cut on. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay your back out. Pretend that this and this is not here. You're going to find the middle. I don't know. You can see that, yeah, you can. And you're
Yep.
going to put a piece of tape there. Now, your quilt's really big, so you don't have to do the whole thing, okay, at one time. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead, you'll take this, and you can put a piece of tape on this side, and you want to make sure it's smooth and it's taut. Another piece here. And you'll go ahead and do that as big as much room as you have to work with. Okay, this secures it so it doesn't move while you are basting it. You can pin baste or you can hand baste if you want. It depends on what, sometimes it's nice to pin baste to get it done and then do some hand basting so you're not dealing with the pins in the hoop. But I would go all as much as I could. Now, if I could get the whole quilt, I would do the top. I would pull and make sure I had the bottom and the sides and then work out. So you're really working from the middle out. You want to make sure that everything's laying good. Okay. So let's say that this is your quilt. You have the whole thing done. Now you're going to put your batting down. And you got this great big old piece of batting. Now I don't spray baste because with hand quilting, it can kind of make it hard for the needle to go through. They say. So if you want to make it easy for you to handle your batting, you can fold it in half. You can take it from the bottom and you can roll it. So as you place it on your quilt, you're not dealing with all this hanging on the all over, this large piece hanging all over. You've got it contained. Some people like to use pool noodles, those floaty things, that styrofoam that you get in a pool and you float with. They'll wrap their batting and their backing, and they've done their top in 3 different noodles. But then see what you can do then is you have this, and then you can slowly bring it down. And if you have any left over that's longer, you just keep it folded up. You can pin it, you can clip it, use your clips, whatever you can to get it out of the way. You do the same thing. If this was your top, you would bring your top and you want it kind of equal. The only thing that we're taping down is our backing. And you'll press it out with your hands. Make sure it's good. Now, before you pin, and you can adjust this if you need to, you'll want to you're going to mark, because if you baste it, the basting is going to be in, the pins will be in your way. So it depends on what you want to do to, are you going to want to do a diagonal design? If you are, you could either put, well, if I wanted to do that, I could put the 1 mark there and the 1-inch mark in the other corner. And I'm going to do this. Let's see, how light did I get? I got pretty light. Okay, so then if I do it, flip the other way. Now this is if I was doing diagonals. And then I can go down the middle if I want. But if you're doing straight line, you would mark your straight lines. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that, Katie?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. So what I would do is, let's say I want to do, how do I want to make, okay, I'm going to make this. This is going to be right here, like it's my triangle. You can see a triangle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is part of my my block that I'm doing. So this is the fabric. This is not something I have done. So this is a fabric. And I want to go 1/4 of an inch and stitch along that ditch, the seam. Now, it's not so bad doing this because you can see a distance from the seam, kind of gives you a distance. But if you want, you can go up here, you can mark a 1/2 inch. Then you would do this one. I'm sorry, I said a 1/2 inch. I'm doing a 1/4 at this point. My mind's on a 1/2 inch. But if you don't want them like this, you can do a 1/2 inch apart. You can do 1 inch apart. You just want to make sure that you're quilting at least. I keep your quilting close enough that it stabilizes your quilt and that. So then I could quilt around here. I could do another one around here and go in like this. So if I wanted to do any of my triangles and fancy them up, I could do that. I can do it to where I went the opposite direction, and I would have one going around the seam, and then I could do some. I'm going to do it like it's 1 inch this time. So you see how I did this? Can you see that okay, everyone? If not, I
Yep.
can move the camera down.
You might, if you want to, you can move it a little closer,
I am gonna.
but we can see. But if you want to make it even better, that's great by all of us.
Okay.
You might have to tilt it up a little bit. Oh yeah, I can see the lines now. There you, oops.
Sorry. You guys went,
It's
you
okay.
guys went for a ride.
That's all right.
Okay, let's see. I can tell from here.
Okay,
But-
yeah, that we can, I can actually see that even better already.
Okay, I'm gonna do. I'll move my computer. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, I could get it closer yet. I will for hand stitching.
Yeah, do what you can, whatever you need to, do to make it more your, it's all on you here. You control this. I'm with everybody. Yep, I can definitely see that way better.
Okay, so this is what you can do when you're doing your designer marking. So you're gonna mark your quilt. You're gonna look at your block. You're gonna say, hey, and you don't have to mark your whole quilt. You can mark it a little bit at a time, because what you're going to do is when you quilt and you put it in the hoop, that night you'll take it out so that it doesn't get like ring burn, or, and let it relax. And then you can do some more that you want to. You can do some more to mark it in that. So, but you do want to take it out of the hoop when you're done for the day. But
Is
if you're
there a
going to go
reason-
right back.
Can you explain why it needs to be took out of the hoop when you're not working on it?
And because let's say that you waited a month and before you did it, then it's going to have this memory in the fabric because it's been hooped up and tight.
Okay.
And when you do hoop, we hoop it. I'll show you that, how we make sure it's loose enough. But that's why. It's because you don't, want it to get the fabric to get a memory in that. So, any questions on this part so far?
Anyone have questions? Please ask them for this part of the tutorial. Or if you have comments, please make them. Okay, babe.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for a second and then I'll put this on over here. Okay, so this is your quilt. The part that you can, a lot of times what we do is when we start, you want to start in the middle of your quilt and work out. So if you're doing this, you can find the middle and, maybe you don't, tape the top right away if you don't have room. Now, if you're on the floor doing it, you could tape the whole thing, but if you don't have a lot of room, but we work from the middle out so that we can smooth it and keep it smooth. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just checking here. Switch it back down. Okay. I'm going to start with my pins. And it depends on what you want to do as far as if you want to close them right away or not. But you go ahead and you stick it in. And you don't want them to, you want them to be able to move them back and forth just a little bit, because if you're stitching and this is in your way, then you can kind of move it. And then some people, they'll clip it right away or go back and clip them. It just depends on what you want to do. And then these lay nice and flat. You want as you're pinning, about a hand's width or even 4 finger, probably a hand's width, you could do for putting the next pin in. So you go this way. Well, let's go this way. We're going to go the same way. I'm doing four fingers because I have a small block here.
So basically, we need to start basting from the inside out, is what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But, and if you have a big quilt, you're probably going to have half of your quilt and the batting and the top rolled up if you have to work on a table, if you can't get down on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll work on the middle part, and like you'll work it and then you can work out.
Okay, gotcha.
Now I'm going to put my hand here. Kind of give me, it's like a gauge. I'm just using it. And as you do this, you'll work I'm putting more pins in than I need to, but you'll work from the middle out, from the middle up and down.
Okay.
If anybody wants to be doing this, you're more than welcome.
Okay, go ahead. So we're going to do the process of basting the smaller practice piece too, right?
Yes. So I'm
Okay.
showing you on this because I wanted to show you how to tape it down.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why I did this, because
Okay.
All
right, then I'll go ahead and start pinning my practice piece.
Okay. And I'm gonna another thing, if you're not doing this right now, but you have your curved pins, if you have any of them, if they're closed when you got them, they're closed. Open them up and keep them open, because then you don't have to waste time opening them up. And then when you're done with your pin and you put them away, you'll put them away open.
That's actually a great piece of advice. I wouldn't have thought of that. Last time I used my pins, I put them back in the thing after I closed all of them.
So,
Anyone have questions so far or comments? Please make them.
okay, I'm just closing these pins. Now, if you don't have your block ready, what you can do, and you don't necessarily have to tape your little practice piece down, because this is the size that I did my practice. I don't know if you can see it. It's like 16 by 16, and then this was a little smaller. So I'll do a pinning on it, but I don't have to tape it down because it's so small. And you won't have to really tape your block down if it's a small block either. But
Okay.
it's good practice.
Thank you, Mona. I appreciate that so much. Uh-oh. I just dropped a pin on the floor.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Nope. Everything is looking good so far. Sherry's an excellent teacher.
Isn't that sweet?
Yes, that's awesome. Because I have been so excited about this because I don't know how to hand sew at all. So this is going to be a big treat for me.
Yep. Now, some people, even if you did do your basting with thread, use your oldest thread that you got, just junk thread. If you're going to thread baste it, but you still want to put some pins in because you need to stabilize it a little bit. And a lot of times they use a curved needle. I'll try to see if I can find one. I think I have one here. Because you can go like this and
You mean
then
like a curved sewing needle?
yeah, if you want to baste, or if you don't have
Okay.
one, just do a regular needle.
I think I might have some that might, oh my gosh, they're ancient, come to think of it. They were my mother's.
This is a curved needle here.
Yeah, I have some of those. Yes, yes. I
Yeah,
hadn't thought of using it for basting. That's a great idea.
and then you can, all you have to do is, put it in like this and do it, and they kind of zigzag a little bit so that you don't have to go straight across. But hey, if it gets basted, I don't think, to me, it wouldn't matter which way you,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
zigzagged or if you went straight or whatever, but it's big. You're using a big, well, just like you would for your hand, for pinning.
Yep.
So I'm going to put another one in. I'm going to have to close these. So, and Andrea was going to do this along with us, but she has a storm coming, so she says her hand's about
Our
useless.
storm,
She's,
our
yeah,
windstorm's been going on. Is today a week, honey?
Yeah, kind of.
For an entire week now, we've had a wind event,
wow.
and it's basically beating me up because I can't sleep at night for the noise.
Oh yeah. I
And
just closed a pen and put it away. Well, hey, habits are hard to break. So
there's actually a song called Hard Habit to Break.
I'm just closing my pins. Now, if this is your practice piece, you'll do the same thing. You'll just put some pins down. And before you do, make sure before you do your practice piece with the pins, you may want to draw a few lines, or we can move the pins and do that if you need to. Like,
Okay.
I'll try to show you.
Andrea says that if I am hoop quilting, I thread based. If I'm using a quilting frame, I pin based, or I have a basting tool that uses little plastic deals that shoot out of a little gun thingy. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've used that little gun before, and the good advice, because with the hoop, if you have a lot of pins in, the pins can get in your way when you're going to go to
Oh,
when you're going to go put it in. So what you're going to do, you put it in, and then you may move a pin or something like that. So put it on like, see how.
I never even heard of the little gun thingy she's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The retail stores, how they put your tags on with those little
Yeah.
teeth.
So it's the
That's
same
what it
thing
is.
then.
Same thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But a lot of fabric stores carry them.
Did not
So
know
you
that.
can, other
That
than
sounds
this
like
pin, it looks like I could, actually I could hoop that then. But this
I was
is,
just gonna say, actually, that sounds like that's something you could use on a really big quilt.
yeah. It saves time. And then another thing that I did is for that, for the gun, basting gun is, oh, what do you call it? You know, it's some of the ceilings, they have, some of the ceilings, when you have a false wall,
Uh-huh.
um, you know how they have the grids that are open, like for
Yeah,
fans and all
yeah,
that? You buy
yeah.
one of those at Home Depot and you can lay your quilt on that and it shoots,
Oh, gotcha.
shoots it through too. So we've done that. So anyhow, don't mark as dark as what I have marked this. But I did this purposely so that you could see. I feel like I'm gonna bring you down a little bit. Now on my practice piece, it's terrible. I should hoop this. But I might hoop it. It would be my big one. Oh, and did I do that? Okay, I could do this one. Then when you're done, you're gonna go ahead and take your tape off. If I need to go slower, let me know.
The I'm going to use I have a marking tool, the Triangle Tailor's Chalk White. That's what I'm going to use on this because I'm using black fabric. So because I'm going to use white thread on
Yeah.
this practice piece. Um, does that rub off easy if you do multiple lines?
Can do it lightly in the white.
Uh-huh.
You can brush it off, but you can also take a very damp cloth and it should come off. But I would say do not use colored chalk.
Yeah, this is
They'll
white.
be permanent.
Okay,
But
gotcha. Question, how far apart should our lines be for this practice base? Not practice base, sorry, let me try
oh,
again. How
do
far apart should the lines be for this practice quilting
piece.
stitches?
Okay, let me see what I did here. Okay, I did like a half inch.
Okay, gotcha.
Can you see that? Don't look at my stitches, but
No, it's
I was
okay.
practicing, but
Okay,
yeah, I did my lines so I could go straight through, and I did
okay,
about a half an inch,
okay,
and then I did on my other. You don't have to do it all over because you may change your mind on what you want to quilt.
okay,
So do 4 or 5 lines or something like that, and then I did a diagonal so
okay.
I could practice my diagonal.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I drew a feather. Let's see, can you see? Yeah, I
Yep.
did a, I did a feather, and then I did a mitten. Let me see.
Oh,
And
sweet.
because what I'm doing is I'm practicing, not that you're going to have to do this. You guys will probably do straight line quilting. Later on, when you feel comfortable, you'll start doing some curves and circles and stuff like that. But this is a good way to practice handling your needle.
Okay. Yeah, because mine's going to be just learning how to tie a knot and hide it.
So you
Because
believe,
I don't know how to do that.
well, there is, they call it a quilter's knot. I can do it over and over, and that thing will not knot for me.
Yeah.
But so then I can do it again, and all of a sudden it works. So I'm going to switch my camera down a little bit further.
Okay. Okay, there's been some more chit chat. Let me catch up here. Because I was making lines. I'll keep up with the chat for you.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, let's see here. Andrea says everything is looking good so far. Sherry's an excellent teacher. And then she says, I plan on quilting along, but the storm's preventing that. Mary G says, I also base thread. Wait, I always base thread around the edge of the quilt using pins and then use pins for the rest of the quilt. Hi, Rita. Welcome, welcome. Rita says
Yeah.
they make different sizes of upholstery needles. Yeah, that's what my mom called those curved needles, because her and dad went through a phase of upholstering furniture. It was interesting.
Well-
She says she prefers the larger ones when she hands quilt. Then Andrea says if I am hoop quilting, I thread based. If using a quilting frame, I pin based. I have a basting tool, which was what I read earlier. I'm rereading it. Sorry. Then Andrea says mine came with a plastic grid thing that is about 12 by 16 inches by that you set under the quilt as you use the gun. Oh, okay. Hi,
Okay.
Maya. And Maya says, I also plan to hand quilt, so good to get back to hand quilting. I even found my quilting hoop and not my embroidery hoop. Yay.
That's good. One thing that you can do is when you're getting ready to do your quilting is if you want to have a few needles already done up.
Already threaded?
Yeah, so that you don't have to deal with that when you run out.
Are when we start to do the needle and stuff, you're going to talk about how to thread it and everything?
Yeah, but just to let you know, I can show you, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for me always. So I can show that if you don't mind. I can show that at this point.
Well, the
I'm
reason I
using,
asked was, are we using a double thread base
No.
or sewing, or are we using single thread? Because
single.
you're gonna have to treat me like a total newbie that doesn't know
Okay.
anything.
I have, I'm trying to find out where my camera is. Okay, I have, yep, there. The Coates and Clark, hand quilting thread. But if you have like 14 weight or something like that, you can use that. You may have to, this one, you don't have to wax, but if you get, some of the others, they may tangle. So if you have beeswax, it's good to run your thread through there, or a thread conditioner. It keeps it from tangling as you're going through. I just got to make sure I know where I am at on the camera. Okay, I will do it that way. Okay, I'll do it this way. Oh. Okay, this is my needle. It'll look like it's tiny as can be. I'm trying to figure out, this is crazy. This looks like it's as tiny as can be, but this thread will go right through it. So you'll take about a 36-inch length if you're comfortable with that. Okay, and you'll cut that thread. Now, if that seems too long for you, you can, and I just put the thread in, and I'm bringing this down. Now I'm going to try the quilter's knot, but I may have to do my traditional cheat way. I'm not too proud to say.
Yeah, I only know one
It
way
can
of
be a
tying a
struggle
knot.
for me.
Hmm.
Oh, oops, wrong needle. Okay. Now I just want to make sure that I'm going to check. I'm going to get this in my hand, and then I'm going to check where my hands are.
Oh, where'd that pin go? Or needle?
Okay. So here's your thread. Hopefully you can see this little thread right here.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to put it between your thumb and your index finger. Then you're supposed to lay your needle over top of it, over top of the thread. Then you wrap this around like 3 times or so.
Mm-hmm.
You grab it and you slide it on down. And I know it's not going to do it. Nope, didn't do it for me. Nope. So if you cannot get that, I just do this. Or I know that's a funky. Look, can you see that?
Yep.
I'll just do it out like that.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I used to be able to do it, but nope. So, but they do say to put it, there is videos out there, but you're supposed to put it in your hand, put it this way, put it around. Wrap it around like 3 times. Bring it on down.
Threading this needle because it's so tiny.
There's my knot. But that's my cheater knot. Okay, Andrea says she has a needle book that she keeps half a dozen or so needles threaded. Needle minders are great to have handy too. The Awkward Quilter saying watching for a few before ending the workday.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, Rita says that it's a bit thicker thread hand quilting. They make a needle threader. Yes, and I do have it. If you have a hard time seeing I gotta figure out this camera there.
Uh, just to mention something real quick for those who have come in that doesn't know what this is about, I will post. I will post a link for the pre-record video concerning this project so that you can go over later and watch it so you'll know what's going on. That little thing just shredded the thread.
What
That's
did your needle?
the little thing you poke through the needle to pull the thread through.
See, you don't think you can thread it without that, huh?
I'm trying to,
They
well,
say
I'm
you
going
can
to try to thread it without it because I just having a hard time seeing. Babe, I need
That's
your
okay.
eyeballs. I'm just going to use my husband's eyeballs.
Way to do it. Now, yes, Mary likes John James size 9 quilt needles with a big eye. They have a big eye. Yeah, mine, I think it's a size 9, might be a 8 that I'm using.
Yeah, these have really tiny eyes on these little needles. These 9, 10 ones you suggested for me, or 10
Yeah,
by 9s.
yeah.
The eye is really tiny and I'm having difficulty seeing it.
Ah. I did have a little magnetic. This was my husband's grandma's little needle book she had.
Oh, that's
So,
cute.
yeah, so I keep needles in there.
I'm gonna have
And
to
you could,
make me one of those or either buy one.
well, this she cross stitched, but you could do oh, do you have any of that flex, what do you call it? Flex text or something like that? It's the real hard, like for purses that you put on the bottom of purses and all that.
I don't know.
Uh,
Um,
just so, I mean, it would make it firm if you don't have cross stitching stuff. But anyhow, I could thread all these. So where I keep
okay,
my needles. And then I do have a magnetic one.
that is super cute.
Yeah.
You're
This,
having trouble with it too?
Yeah,
It's tiny.
Brenda, I'm using the Coates and Clark brand hand quilting thread, but you can use any hand quilting thread. It doesn't have to be
I
that
already lost one.
brand.
I don't even know where the one I had out to begin with.
I know.
Now where did it go?
I got it right in my hand.
Okay,
Sorry,
there
you
now
guys.
you can see me.
Interrupt.
Yeah, you could do that with that now. If you go with a bigger weight, like a 14 weight, if you have that, a 14 weight thread, that's a little thicker, but you may have to have a different needle than the betweens quilting needle to get it threaded. So I thought that the knot was going to be a tough one.
Yeah, the eye is being a challenge for me right now because I can't see it.
Cut your thread. Can you cut your thread at an angle?
Yeah, but
Sometimes
I just can't. What the problem is I can't see the eye of the needle.
Okay, let me find a
I am
needle.
trying all different. Yeah, I can see it, but not see it. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm
Because
gonna
it's
get
very
another one.
tiny. I wish I had.
Needle.
Oh, let me see if these other glasses will help, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
It's right here. What are you fixing to do?
I'll
Nikolai's
have to
going to take
pull
it and
that
go.
needle later.
You can do a magnifying
There
glass.
it is. Find it. Find it.
Apparently, he's going to go do something and try to thread it. So keep on going. I'll catch up.
Hey, to put your thread like the head of the eye of your needle close to your hand.
Yeah, Andrea, I need new glasses severely, but they're so expensive here. They're $1,500 US for my glasses.
Then you can thread it because you're not moving it around as much, and you can kind of
Yeah.
use your thumb for your other finger.
Gotcha.
So just give yourself a little bit less.
Oh, don't you have so much space there?
Yeah, see how I have just a little bit? Whoops.
Okay, gotcha.
I need new glasses too. I can't see if I'm showing you. Yeah, I'm just putting a little bit, and then you can almost like rest this thumb on this one. Put the needle through. I mean the thread through the needle. Tell you with this thread and the thimble and the little needles, it's like you feel like all thumbs sometimes.
Yep, definitely. Let's see, you said 9/10. Let's see if I can find
Rita says to try a needle with a bigger eye. It won't really make it. Yeah, if you can't see, it's not going to do you any good.
Okay, yeah, I'm
So-
looking through these needles to see if there's one that's the size you're talking about with the bigger head.
Or just look at one that's small but looks like it's a one that you can see.
Okay, will do. I'm looking. Because I have more needles. Let me see here.
Lockwood Quilter says, I have no desire to hand quilt. However, I use a light needle threader when I do have to hand sew. You know, I thought, oh, I'm not gonna want to get back into that, but the hand quilting, but it's kind of relaxing. It's like sitting there and reading a book. Well, I'll go back over it, but I'm going to start. Wow.
Dang it, I keep dropping things. Okay, let me see here. I'll be catching up.
You're fine. I'm going to go back over it again. Okay. Now, if you
Can I use, I have a set, some Bowen 3/9s, and it looks like the heads are bigger on those. Can I use
Yeah,
one of
try
those?
that and see. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Now you can put this in the quilt frame. I'll have the other one done. This one I'm not going to. The practice one, I'm doing it by hand, without a hoop. But if you
I'm gonna
want to
do
do
the
it,
practice without a hoop too.
the thing is we'll get used to it and we'll say, do the hoop. So,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
let me go tell him we're gonna use a different needle. Baby, bring me the thread. We're switching needles. I found one with a little bit of a bigger head. I'll have to get a spreader for those itty bitty needles.
Yeah, I'm going to show that because a lot of people do the punch style and
Just
not
split
the
and go
rocky
through?
motion. And I kind of combine both. You know, it's like there's no wrong way there.
Give me that needle so I don't lose it.
It's on top of the, right here.
Oh, I wouldn't have even seen that, baby. Sorry, I'm sorry we're talking out loud.
That's okay. So what I'm going to start, this is my line, and I'm going to start about an inch or a half an inch away from where I want to start quilting. And I'm going to bring my needle up on that line. Katie, I'll show this again, so don't worry.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up.
Ketchup? You want ketchup?
You're funny, honey. You said about 36 inches long?
Yeah, if you feel comfortable with that, 30 to
Okay.
36.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, I'm
So just so I can clarify real quick,
yeah.
when I sew the knot or when I make the knot at the end of the thread, we're knotting both pieces of thread together, right?
No, just a
Just a
single
single?
thread.
Okay, understood. That's what I was trying to, yeah, okay, gotcha.
Hope you guys can see this okay because it's like with my hand. Okay, so now I have about an inch away or half an inch on this one. I pulled the thread through and came through my line that I have traced for the design. And here's the knot right there. Now I'm going to use my other hand because I don't want to be, oh no, I'm going to use this hand. This hand won't be in the way. And I'm just going to give it a slight tug. You'll hear a pop. And what it does, what I'm doing is when I put this first through the first thread, you're only going through the top and the batting. You're not going through the backing. You're hiding because you want to hide the knot.
Brenda wants to know what's the advantage of a hoop.
Mainly it's kind of like when you got a great big, I think it can be personal preference. It's keeping things contained. If you're working on a big quilt, it's harder unless you're going to put it on a table and hand quilt it while it's laying on the table because you got the weight of it. This way you can put the hoop. You can handle the hoop, and the hoop you don't want it to be any bigger than, you know, from your elbow to your fingertips if you're going to hoop.
Okay.
Because you want to be able to reach over and quilt during that.
Before you go further, when
Yeah.
I put I've got my knot made.
Okay.
Now, am I starting underneath or on top?
What you're going to do, you're going to go about a half an inch or inch away from where you want to start.
Okay,
And you're just going to put the needle and the thread through the top and batting, the top fabric and the batting,
but not the bottom?
not the bottom, not
Okay,
when you start and stop. This is
okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
okay. So you got it out. Now, what you want to do is just give it a little tug and it'll pull the knot in between the layers.
Okay,
Not a hard tug, just a little tug.
okay, gotcha. All right, I'm doing that now. Okay, it's popped through.
Okay, good. So now you have your needle and you put it, you have your thimble on. Put your thimble on your middle or index finger, whatever's um, comfortable for you.
Okay,
Okay. Brenda, put the knots under, right? When you go in, you're going to go in about a half an inch away from where your design line is or where you want to quilt. Then you're going to come up where you want to quilt, and you're going to pull your thread till you see the knot right there in that area, and then you're going to give it a little tug. Sometimes it'll tug all the way through. Well, you can either do a little bit bigger knot or just going in a little bit different hole there, but price of glasses. I know I got to get glasses too, new glasses.
yeah, I'm gonna try to put off my getting glasses here until next year, because if I can get, I'm going to go to my daughter works for an eye surgeon. She's also an optometrist and an ophthalmologist, and I'm going to get a second opinion about what's going on with my eyes. But it'll be cheaper for me to get my eyes done in the United States so that I can buy my glasses there, because it's hard for me and Nikolai to stomach paying $1,500 for my glasses here.
Oh yeah, I'm just
All
getting myself set up.
right. Okay, yeah, I'm watching what you're
Good
doing.
angle. Okay, I hope you can see. So anyhow, you kind of look where your thread is, and you kind of think, okay, where you want your how big your stitches you want. You have your from your other hand.
Hmm.
I want to make sure you can see that. Can you see that? From you can see my other hand, right? Right there.
Yep, yep.
My other hand is down at the bottom with my middle finger. And what
Okay,
my middle finger is going to do is it's going to feel the needle.
okay,
I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to do it hard. I'm just going to. Now, what I like to do is when I start, instead of immediately trying to rock the stitch, you can quilt like how I have my hand, with all of it. But see, now I put this through because I pushed it with you push with your bottom middle finger. Now I'm transferring this to my thumb. See how it's straight up and down?
hmm,
Well, when I do that, I can feel that needle on the bottom of my middle finger. I'm letting my thumb on top decide how big I want. And if I don't want it that big, I can just back it off. And then I keep that on there. I have to always start though, not having it on the middle finger. I don't know if I just don't feel like I can control it as well. Then I rock it up, fill it on the bottom of my finger, bring it through. Now, I use this thumb, but some people like to use this thumb. So whatever is working. Can everybody see? Okay, is it?
Can everyone see what she's doing?
I think so.
I think so too.
I'm gonna leave this just
So
like this so you can see.
when we're doing these multiple stitches like you're showing us,
Yeah, you're holding the
go as
needle.
far as the needle allows us to do, or
No, do maybe 3 with just starting.
Okay, gotcha.
If you're comfortable, because it's going to be hard to pull that needle and thread through. Do what's comfortable. And if your stitches are a little bit, like a little bit bigger at first, it's okay. Just have them be the same.
Okay,
And then as
consistent
you get
then.
more comfortable with your needle and thread, you'll automatically go smaller.
Okay,
But that's
gotcha.
what's nice about the practice pieces, because you can practice your stitching. And always before you get ready to quilt on your main piece, take a practice piece out and practice a few stitches just to get the rhythm.
Okay.
I'm just going to leave that like this for now so you guys can see.
I think the biggest thing's going to be not getting in a fight with all this thread.
Well, you might find that you want your thread shorter.
Okay.
You can have it can go through double. Just at the end, you don't want it double. So
Right.
make it
Gotcha.
bring your second thread down enough that you're not dealing with a lot.
Okay, what's the deal here?
It can twist.
Yeah, something's caught.
If it twists, just kind of take your
Oh,
needle.
I'm thinking it's caught and it's not caught.
Oh,
Uh-oh, I just pulled on the, aw,
okay.
it's
Well, go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to do one more stitch. I can feel that on my middle finger on the hand that's underneath. There you go. Now I'm going to push and then pull. And that's where, if you need to, if you have the rubber thimbles, you can use the side of it to help get that thread through. But don't let those stitches, you want them to be relaxed. You don't want them to be tight. You don't want to pull those threads so tight.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait a second. I'm going to let you get, and some people, I'm going to tell you, not that I want you to have, make it, you're still having your finger underneath and you're still using your thumb. But some
Mhm.
people feel more comfortable doing this motion. Whoops, I better get it on I might not be, to where you can do a stabbing motion too, but it will take you longer.
Okay.
And I'll show you what a stabbing motion is.
When you get better at this, how do you know is practices when you're practicing and practicing, that's how you'll get the stitches to where they look consistent all the way through?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Just doing it, you get an eye before you're done. I mean, you could do a line across your practice quilt, and by the time you get there, you're finding that you've got the same stitch length. A stabbing stitch is where they go down, they come up, they go
They go
down.
in and out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's harder. See, I'm having a hard time getting that.
Yeah, because you have to line, it's harder to line up if you
Hanging
can't.
up.
Yeah, got you.
But if you're doing a big quilt and you're doing the big stitch in that, I don't want to do that. I want to take one of my quilts, my small wall hangings I have or something, and I want to incorporate some hand stitching in with the machine stitching. So now I'm getting ready for my next one, and I'm gonna I put that in with these two fingers because I just can do that better. Then I'm going to put this on the tip of my thimble and I'm going to go up. I can feel it. I'm going to get I can feel that I'm getting that a little bit big. So, okay. Now I can go down, up, Yeah, until you feel more comfortable, just do about 3 stitches or so. Some people can really load their needle up, but I find it's harder to pull it through. But see, I can hold my thimble and my thread like this, put my thread on my thimble, I mean my needle on my thimble, and then pull if that is resistant.
Okay. This is not as scary as I thought it was good.
It's very relaxing. It's very nice. I mean, I haven't done it for a lot of years, so yeah, I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to enjoy it. You know, I'm going to enjoy doing the process and that.
This is something I could do on an airplane.
Yes,
I
definitely.
like crocheting on an airplane, but you know, this would be fun to do on an airplane too.
Take
Okay. What I'm going to do is if I was going to hoop my quilt, I'll wait. Everybody's working on their stitches. This is my block. If I was going to hoop, I got to think. Okay. I had to think which piece is going underneath your round. Let me see. I'm going to switch. Your round one like this goes underneath. You'll find your middle source.
Yeah, it's good to see Kev in the channel. I haven't seen you for, it's been a minute since the last time I've seen you. And then there, Crystal, let's see. Brenda H says, I want to do one just so I can say I did it. That's why I bought a hoop. And then Rita says, that is why I put mine in on an embroidery hoop, then do not have to hold the fabric myself. Then Kev, let's see. Brenda then says, Crystal, I don't think I could hold that much weight. And then Brenda says, no, not Brenda. Lana says, Brenda, it's addictive. It really is relaxing and enjoyable to do. And Rita said that used to be the only way I made quilts was hand quilting. That is so cool, y'all. And then Lana says, just keep in mind it's slow stitching, so don't put pressure on yourself to do it quickly. Take your time and enjoy the journey. That's
Yes.
great advice.
It is.
And then Brenda says, so as soon as you feel the needle touch your finger, you push up.
Yep. Thank you. That is correct. I want to show you this hoop. Like you're worried
That is
about
a
the
cool
weight.
hoop.
I know. This is
I want one.
I know. I'm going to try it. I haven't tried it yet, but I can set this on my lap. Then the weight of the quilt isn't on my arms.
Yeah,
And I can move around, and this turns.
that is awesome.
Cool.
I wish I would
This
love to
goes
have one.
This
I bet they're pricey.
I bet you they are too. I tried to find. I don't know where you can even find them. Probably quilting frames you would look up. But you can undo this part, and then this will raise and lower. I may not get this back turned. No, I will. I will, but anyway, I wanted to show you this too. So see how I've hooped this.
Yep.
Then what I will do is I'll tighten this wing nut. There's a wing nut here.
Mhm.
You'll tighten that a little bit. But when you're going to quilt, I'm gonna make sure I don't lose my needle here. When you are going to hand quilt in a hoop, you want to push it down. They said like there's a cat that has come and sat on it.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah, I
you
was
don't,
going to ask how tight do you make it or how loose do you make it?
well, you can put it in there, taunt, and then you see.
Yep. So you want a little bit of flexibility there, but you don't want it to be too loose,
You can
right?
tell if your needle don't want to go through for you and it's too hard to get, then loosen it a little bit. But you can lay it on the table and just kind of push down on it a little bit.
Okay.
So that's like if you are doing your blocks and you want to do the hoop, which is good to do the hoop. I mean, if you're gonna do a bigger, I think my needle's under here.
Those of you who are doing the practice fabric with us today to learn how to stitch, make sure I will share my email here
Yeah,
for those
you
who are
should-
not Facebookers, and send me a picture and I will post them on Facebook and on the YouTube community tab. That way we can share your work too. So keep that in mind as you're practicing. Those that already know how to do this but are sewing anyway with us, share your pictures too. So
Yeah.
the email's posting in the chat. Also, you can share it on my Facebook community or my Facebook GreenlandQuilter page. Yeah, that was a mouthful.
So the seasoned hand quilters, if you have any tips and in that,
Yeah, I've shared those
don't
too.
hesitate because we
Ouch.
can all learn from this, and we would love that. I would love it to
Maybe I
to
better
know that
put
you.
another thing on my other finger here. I just pooped myself.
Yeah, you can just like if you just kind of barely put it down, you can just feel it, and then it's actually this finger is pushing this back up, and then you
Uh-huh.
go. Yeah, you control the stitch length between this finger and your thumb, but remember, if it gets too big, just slide it back and do it
Okay, I
again.
have a question. When
Okay.
you've done 2 or 3 of these lines, do you take the pins out or do you
Oh,
leave them in?
sorry, I just poked myself with a pin. No, you take the pins out as you go along. If
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
away and you've stabilized it,
Okay.
you can, yeah, once it's stabilized, you can, with your hand quilting, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Watch those pins. They're naughty.
Yeah, they're sharp. My
I
goodness.
know, I just got one under my fingernail.
Oh, now I know that had to hurt.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We're more tender up underneath our fingernails.
To download a free.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
this
for the
is,
that's
that's
for
the
that
bot.
other. The bot is
Okay,
doing this auto thing.
yours is, Brenda, is yours a floor? A one that I have one that's oval. I have one that's an oval shape and it has a stand that stands on the floor. And,
Guys.
I was wondering if that's the same kind that you have. Lana is making a needle book that I'm designing as I go and hand quilting everything.
And
I'm
she's
adding,
added pieces. Oh, that's so
ooh,
cool.
yeah,
Can't wait for you to share it with us so we can see what it looks like.
I have a tatter, but I don't know how to use it. I have two little tatting things that somehow I collected in something.
I would love to learn how to tat because that looks so much fun.
Yeah, Lana, you got to share with us. We want to see.
All right.
Uh, Rita says, Katie needles bite. They
Yes,
do.
they do because I just got bitten by one.
Yeah, and Lana says that you, as you're quilting, you want it smooth, but a little loose. So, because you don't want it to be so loose that it is drooping and you get pleats or something like that in the back.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Katie? I mean,
I'm fixing it. I'm fixing. Can I show you guys? I
Yeah.
know it's not perfect.
It doesn't matter.
I want y'all to listen. I have never hand sewn anything hardly in my life because that's one of the and I see a little bit of a disaster over here, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Uh, my mom never got around to teaching me that particular skill. I've done everything on a sewing machine because it was easy, to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to temporarily take you off the share
Okay.
and then I'll spotlight myself and I'll put it up by the camera where you can see it. I hope you can see it because I'm using black fabric with a white thread.
Yeah, well, we should be able to see it.
Okay,
Ooh,
so
that your glaze. That's nice. Ooh,
right then.
hey
Wow,
girl, you're
that
gonna
was
have
right
to
in your
sell
face,
some of
wasn't
those.
it? It was like right in your face, right? Okay,
Oh,
now
let me see again. I didn't see.
I haven't showed it yet.
Oh,
I just pinned myself. Hold on. I don't want to lose the end of this needle.
80. That's good.
That looks
Oh,
that's how it should look. I know it's not even
yeah, you
stitches,
got it
but
nice. You got it nice and straight, and you're pretty consistent with
this is
your
first time me
stitches.
doing this.
You'll get like by the time you do your second line, you'll have your consistency. You'll find the rocking motion and find how it's comfortable, and your stitches will end up being very
Okay,
close to the same.
I'm down here at the end of the line. So are you going to tell us what to do
Yes.
next from that?
Now,
Okay,
what you can
so
do is
whenever you're ready.
if you're down and you want to, okay,
Yeah, how do I go to the next line? Do I cut off here or
so
can I
you don't
cut
have to
carry
cut
up
off.
underneath the thread? Yeah, you know
Yeah.
I don't.
You can, you would come on down.
Hang on, let
Whoops.
me pin you back so I can see what you're doing.
I gotta see where I'm at.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
You could come. Okay, let's say you have you would put your needle like a threads, like you were doing a thread space away,
Okay.
a stitch away. Then you can come up to your next point. I'm going, wait, let me go this other
Because
way.
right now I'm like at the end of the line, which is the edge of the fabric.
Okay, and you'll want to be,
Actually, I'm like probably too close to the edge now that I'm looking at it.
it doesn't matter with it won't matter with that. But see
Okay.
how I took my needle, I did it one stitch, and I ran my needle through
Oh,
to
way
my
over
next
to the other
line.
side? Oh,
Yep.
gotcha. Okay, got ya.
That's called traveling.
Okay.
And then
So
you
I
can start
stick it
stitching.
back. So I stick it back through like
Mhm.
I'm going to pull it. Yeah, okay. And then I go all the way over to the next line.
Yeah.
Is it
And you and
wait, question. Is that long line going to show up on the back side?
between the top and the batting is what you
Okay,
want
I
to
need to
do.
go in
I'm
between.
sorry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
sorry.
right.
I didn't say that.
No, it's
You're gonna
okay.
you're gonna travel between the top and the batting and not the backing.
Okay, got you. All right. I just want to make sure I didn't do something wrong. Okay, I'll answer her in just a second. Let me get this thread through here. And it should not be tight, correct?
No, no, yeah.
Uh-oh.
What? Did you undo your needle?
Aw, you can see where I dipped down outside my straight line. It's okay. This is a
It doesn't
practice
matter.
piece.
That's your practice piece.
Yep, that's my practice piece. So it's okay. All right,
Yeah.
I'm all the way over there and I haven't over tightened it.
Okay. And I would suggest, do you see your thread?
You mean on the,
You have your thread in your hand
yes,
and you have, it's pretty long. You know, the loose tail that's not attached to the
yes,
tail, the tail that's not attached to your quilt,
yep.
make that shorter so that your thread's a little shorter because that is too long for you.
You noticed how long I had it?
Yeah.
So you want me to cut some off of it? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just off of your
Yeah,
the
it's
loose
like
end.
really long and it's like I'm fighting with it.
I
Okay.
know.
All right. How much should I take off of it? Maybe
Uh,
12 inches?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see
Gotcha.
how that works.
Okay. It's cut off. Yeah, because it was like really long and I'm like trying not to get it all tangled up, you know.
Yeah, Lana,
Okay.
you
All
do
right.
travel
I've
between the
adjusted it
layers.
now. Okay.
I'm going to show you something else too, because what if somebody has ran out of thread and they need some. So to end it, all I do, and you could do a different one, but I wrap it about 3 times, sort of like
Okay.
a lazy daisy. And then I'm going to stick that in. I don't know why I'm thinking.
And that'll be between the top
Between
layer
the-
and the batting.
yeah.
Okay.
And actually what it does is it's knotting that. And I can pull, oops, I pulled it through. But
Uh-oh.
anyhow, you can,
So
yeah,
you have
like,
to be gentle with it.
yeah, can I have to correct myself. When you want to, when you want to switch before you knot,
Hmm.
travel on over to the middle part
Okay.
and then knot it. But you can wrap it, or some people like to do this where they have this
Yeah.
like this and just put the needle through.
Okay. Yeah, I've
And
done it.
then you just want to, you got a little knot. Just through the top and the batting, not through the back.
Rita, I don't know what a French knot is.
French knot is the one where I showed that you do like 3 wraps.
Rolling it around the needle. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I
3
didn't know there
wraps
was a
and
name for it.
3 wraps and they actually go right down. If you're doing a embroidery French knot, you go back down in this almost the same hole.
Okay. I'm gonna read some comments in the chat real quick while you're showing us that. And then I'll start on my next line. Rita says, oh wow, uh-oh, that disappeared. Let me go back. Let's see. Rita says, oh wow, Lana, amazing. I've never liked tatting, just not my thing. I would rather knit or crochet. And Lana says, I've done that, Sherry. That hurts. And Brenda says, same as quilting. Rita, I want to make Battenberg lace to add to it. Battenberg, I have to look that up because I bet that's something else that looks cool. Then Rita says, oh, wow, Lana, that is beautiful stuff. I've made tons of doilies, but not tatting. I want to learn how to tat because I think that's fun. That looks fun anyway. Rita says, perfect, Katie. And then Lana says, my mom got me a mini lathe for Christmas so I can make my own Battenberg lace bobbins. I have wire findings and beads to add spangles on the bottom. I'm gonna have to look that up. And then Rita says, Lana, that is amazing. Lana says, Katie, by the time you finish a few lines, you'll be hooked. I think I'm already hooked. Lana says, you'll travel over the next line between the layers. Don't put it through the back. Thank you for that. Because that I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't asked. Andrea says, I was going to suggest the same thing, talking about how long my thread is. Katie, your thread is at this point should be maybe 12 inches at most. See, I didn't know that.
Okay, folded, like when it's, yeah.
Yeah, and then Andrea says a good rule of thumb is to cut the thread from your needle to your elbow. See, I didn't know that.
I think I said longer. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why you did it longer. I said
Well,
something.
you said 36 inches, so I went with it. Then Helen says, why are you not using a hoop to keep your fabric tight? This is a practice piece that we're doing to learn how to just move the needle in and out of the sandwich, right?
Right.
Sherry?
Right. We're learning our stitches and getting comfortable. And this is a small piece, so it's easy to do by your hand.
Yeah,
And
that's why
then-
we're not using the hoop. This is a practice piece so that because I've never hand sewn at all in my life. So I'm a newbie. So we're learning from scrap piece of fabric that's like a sandwich.
When you do it in a hoop, you put it in, but you want it to be a little slack in it so that it.
Oh, Lana says long A, Katie, lathe. See, I'm glad people are correcting the way I say things. I'm happy about that. Okay, so you embroider. I know how to embroider, but I used to, let me rephrase that a little. I used to know how to embroider. I did embroidery when I was a teenager because we did it in a home economics class and I liked it. But then when I reached adulthood, gardening was more important at the time. So I have not hand embroidered I'm 62 now. So, and I was 18 when I stopped doing it. So you do the math. That's how long I have not picked up embroidery thread and a needle. So I would have to relearn all of that again. I have the desire to do that because I would like to put some hand embroidering on my quilt. What?
I have some needles on board that I can show you with the big eyes to take the
Yeah,
teeth.
fishing needles.
Fishing needles? Oh
Yeah.
my God. Are they? I bet they are humongous.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
This is, in case you guys don't know this, you notice when he's home, my hair stays in a braid. Guess who braids my hair?
Ah,
He does. Because I
That's
can't braid my
nice.
own, I can't free braid my own hair the way, because he free braids it where there's not a rubber band at the top, because rubber bands give me headaches. But when he's gone, if I want to braid my hair, I have to put a rubber band against my head to braid my hair. So, yeah. Andrea says, you do
anybody-
not look 62. I would have guessed you were around 50. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I think I'm kind of like my mom. My mom was slow to aging too. So whenever it would be
Yeah.
funny when I was 40 years old and I'd go in a liquor store to buy a bottle of liquor, guess who was getting carded?
Nice.
It was annoying. You don't look old enough to be buying liquor. I'm like, you're crazy too.
If anybody has any questions before we're done for the evening, let us know.
Yeah, ask your questions because that's what what Sherry's here while she's teaching. So Rita says fishing needles would be perfect. They are just bigger around.
And we got bigger threads too. The
You're
big-
using rope, right? As thread or
Some.
something else?
We have
That's for the nets, isn't it? To
8
repair
millimeter?
nets.
Wow. You're gonna have to bring home a piece of the thread so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, I can't even register what that means. When I'm going to make that turn, after I've pulled that long piece up between the layers, I should not pull too tight on that corner, right?
You don't want stress on it, on your quilt.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, does anyone want us to show you how to do that Golden Gate block next
Yeah.
time? Or do you want to go ahead and do it yourself or have your own block to do?
Yeah,
Katie?
that's what it's, because I
Yeah.
will do a tutorial on how to make. Do you want to do the tutorial? Or you want me to do the tutorial for the Golden Gate?
I thought I'd have you if you want.
Okay. Now, if you're going to do the Golden Gate block for the actual sew along, I can do a tutorial on the next slide to walk you through making it. Now, as Sherry said, and I pointed out, and that's why there's a poll up here, if you choose not to use the Golden Gate block, that's okay. You can use your own block, whatever you have. Just make sure whatever you choose to use, you can see what you're doing.
Show them your block, Katie. Show them the block you're thinking
The
of.
sample block, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a sample block, and there's a story behind this. Some of you have seen it from when I did a long time ago show and tell of my first work. Hang on. I gotta unspotlight you for a minute, Sherry.
Okay.
That way they can see what I'm going to show them because I'm in an itty bitty box right now. Okay. When I first started learning how to sew blocks together, that was in 2015, I think. This was one of my first blocks. Now, these corner blocks here with that funny looking design on it, I was being creative and I decided I want to see how to do this. And I used paper and I drew lines and I sewed it as corner blocks on this star. But I was thinking about, since this is a beginner block, and I am learning how to begin. I'm a beginner hand quilter. Why not use this block as a practice block for when we start the actual sew along?
That's good because you got the lines.
Yeah, and there's enough darkness here that when I use white, you'll be able to see my stitches.
Yeah.
And maybe I could find a colored, I don't know what I should do about the rest of it. But I was just thinking of using white, so the white might blend in a little bit on this purple maybe or the yellow, but I think you'll be able to see it on the dark blue. But this is one of my first ever blocks. So you can see this is not perfect down here.
I think it looks good.
But I think it looks super cute. I'm still happy with it. I wouldn't change a thing about it. But anyway, I thought I would do my hand quilting on that. But I will still make the block we're talking about, what do we call it again?
Golden Gate. Golden Gate?
The Golden Gate. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is here. I'm tired. I don't know. The Golden Gate, I'm still going to do the tutorial on it for those who actually want to do the block and don't want to use one of your own. But this is probably going to be my practice block.
If you decide you don't want to, she can have the block shown and talk you through what to do. But
yeah, because I looked at the pattern, and basically you have, let me see here, most of them are rectangles except for the corner parts of the block, which happen to be, you're only going to make 4 half square triangles, and then then there's going to be 4 blocks with rectangles in groupings of 3, and then the center block is just a square. I mean, this is what it looks like. So it's very simple. There's no hard work to this, unless you're a newbie. Oops, sorry. Unless you're a newbie and don't know how to make this half square triangle here. But I think this has enough open space here that when you're learning how to practice hand quilt, you'll be able to see the stitches.
I would say for the next time, be practicing your.
Yeah, you need to be. This is your homework.
Yeah, practice your hand quilting. Feeling comfortable. If you want to do a few diagonal lines on yours, keep the lines light so that they come out. These are dark purposely, but keep them light. And I'm
putting you back on pin so they can see what you're doing.
We'll go back through real quick next time on that laying, marking your quilt and that we'll do a little recap on it, and we'll work on in the hoop.
Lana wants to know where the pattern is for this Golden Gate. Okay, about this Golden Gate. Hold on. I'm going to pin you again.
You can Google it too and get it.
You did find a place to get it from?
It's free. Just go under free pattern, type in Golden Gate block.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can go find the freebie of it then, because then they won't have to buy the box of cards.
Right.
If I can save them money, that would be great. Unless they already have the box.
Yeah.
Now, if you already have the Quilt Builder card deck, it's in box number 3. So it's free Golden Gate quilt block. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there's even a golden. That says Golden Gate block pattern.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, really? Oh, you're right. It is. Okay, I'm going to share this link, and this is where you can go download it for free. So you do not need to go and buy the box of cards if you don't want to spend the money on it, which is fine with us. We are all happy about all that, right?
Yep.
Because here's the name. It's called Golden Gate block. I'm having fun with this thimble on my center. I found my little. You remember you told me if I had any of those little silicone things? I finally found them. It's weird being on my finger.
Yeah. You didn't
Don't
get
they
your
do-
package from me yet, huh?
No, not yet. And
Okay.
we have not seen mail in weeks because,
That's terrible.
well, it's because of the BS between the United States and us. And also, because the weather has been the worst I think I've ever seen it with wind. So, as of yesterday, Air Greenland, which is how freight goes from Nuke down to here, because now that everything's going into Nuke instead of into Kangerlussuaq, they made an announcement yesterday that all flights going from Nuke to South Greenland and to East Greenland are now canceled until the weather gets better.
Oh.
So
Well-
no mail.
Well, next time you bring your block that you want to do.
Yeah,
put
so we're going to
we'll put it in
improvise
the-
with what I have. Okay, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll just improvise for right
Yeah.
now.
We're gonna put it in the hoop, and you'll practice how to quilt in the hoop. You'll find out, do I like it or do I not? But then we'll end up covering, I'd like to cover a little bit, which I need to get, it's the same process, but people are doing the big stitch
See what
too.
Andrea said? Andrea says, I was just going to say that Patchwork Square should have it. I didn't know that. What's the name of the other block you showed? It doesn't have a name, Lana. What?
37.
Okay. It doesn't have a name. I saw a pattern for the star, and I made the star, and then I made this decision to modify the corner pieces. So there's no star. It's just, all it is 4 hourglass blocks that make the star part of it. You have a solid square in the middle, and then that little design I did on each corner, that was it. So there's no net. If you want me to, I can write a pattern for it though.
That
No
would be
problem.
great, because I think it's a
Yeah,
beautiful
'cause
block.
It's a pretty block, and I'll have to make a redraw. Make the part this paper piece that I did, which was for my own drawing. I'll have to do a redrawing of it, and then set it as a PDF where they can print it out if they want to.
To show you, you see how my edges is kind of fraying a little bit?
Yeah.
When you're doing a quilt, if you want to fold your edges over and do a basting, it'll help protect the edges.
Okay.
I want to see something here a second. Is this going to show up?
Mary G said it's a-
Thank you, Mary G. Who else did you say came in here I missed? Hey, Sandy. How are you? Thank you for the compliment on the block.
Lori.
And then Lori came in. Hey, Lori. Katie, you should always make a master template to keep. That's really a good
Yeah.
idea. And I was so new into doing this stuff. Wait, oh my gosh. Next year it's going to be 10 years I've been doing this,
Wow.
but I'm still a newbie.
You got to catch up with me.
Yep.
I've been doing it a long time. From the first time I started, my age, I was, what did I say, 29 or something like that. And I'm 68.
Yeah, I was
so
in my 50s when I started. So but I knew how to sew long before that. I was
yeah,
making my own clothes as a teenager.
I was going to
because-
show.
It was cheaper to make dresses back then than to buy them.
Oh, yeah, it's not now.
And not now, it's cheaper to buy them.
I'm going to show the basting if I was to baste. Whoop, losing my, and if I wanted to baste, because I'm going to put it in the hoop.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know we based it with these safety pins, but I notice even when I'm trying to baste with safety pins on a big quilt for machine sewing,
Yeah.
is it possible to take the sewing machine for these big quilts that you're actually, I know this is not hand sewing, but maybe the concept's the same. Can you actually do really long basting along the outer edge of the quilt, or will that just mess everything up?
Because if it's basting, you can take it out. Like if you
Yes.
feel that it's pushed by the time you get to the edge,
Uh-huh.
just take that out at that point.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Now, if I wanted to baste, I just got this big old thread with a knot, and that's fine because I can cut that knot.
Uh-huh.
Some people want to go, you know, if I was going to baste, maybe I do.
Yeah, those long basting, because I know how to long baste. Because you're
Yep.
going to cut that out when you're finished with it. That's
Right.
the only part of hand sewing I actually know how to do. And I also know how to do those long stitches like that to
Yeah.
create gathering. Because I used to when I made my skirts, I was into those ruffle skirts like crazy for a while. And I was hand basting to create those ruffles.
Ah. Some people like to do, they show a zigzag, which I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm
Which
not
I
sure I can
started
do
up here, which I
zigzag.
would start in the middle
Yeah.
normally. Only to keep it, like if it bunches, if you start in the middle, you can work it out, you know, you work through your quilting. But see, and then this can take place of, if you want to do that, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do that, you know, pin based, and then do this, then when you go in the hoop, you don't have to deal with this.
With the
It's up
pin.
to you.
That's cool.
And just use your cheapest thread or something that you can see, and then when it fits in the hoop, you don't have to deal with the pins. So, but I like
Great
to pin
idea.
base first, and then I like to do the other.
I can't
I
believe
guess
how simple this is. And right now, I know there's other stitches you have to teach us, but
it's really not. It's just working your needle around a curve, like patterns.
Uh-huh.
It's like just you know, you're going to take a little bit different stitch and move your needle just a little bit different when you're doing. Right. I want to make sure when you're doing a curve.
Yeah, the curve will probably be that's going to be interesting.
But save a little, you know, room on your practice sandwich
Mm-hmm.
to be able to. We could do some curves or circles. We could do a circle.
Okay, gotcha.
And that way, if you wanted to do, what if you wanted to put a feathered wreath on, hand quilt a feathered wreath on your quilt?
Yeah.
You'd be able to do that because you would know. Well, that got a little long, but of course I'm using a bigger needle too right now.
I keep catching my thread on these safety pins.
Well, we can see it. Katie, you have any questions or anything else, or?
Yeah, if you guys have questions, please ask because when do you have to stop, Sherry?
We can, I mean, actually, we can stop anytime now because
Okay, because we're 2 hours in. Well, no, we're not quite 2 hours in yet. I thought we'd hit that 2 hour mark and then assign them their homework and
yep.
and then go from there.
Again, if you don't have a hoop, try to get a hoop. And
Yeah,
borrow one so you can practice how to hoop a quilt. If you can't,
that was a big
there's
stitch.
not a problem. You can do it otherwise, still quilt it. Oops. I guess I left.
Now, when I get to so let me ask you a couple questions. We're doing these long straight lines, but then we're going to do diagonals.
Yes.
So when I go when we start the diagonal lines, we're going to go over the top of the. Do we go over the top of the straight lines, or do you go in between it or something?
You're going to travel to the next. You're basically going to do this. the diagonals.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna travel up this one. No, you're gonna hand stitch up this, travel your thread to the next spot, go down there and hand stitch, travel to the next line. And then when you're all done with those one side of diagonals,
Uh-huh.
then you'll travel your thread or whatever and we'll start the other side.
Um,
Let me see.
that freebie block, what size was that? Because I didn't look.
I think
Hang on, I'll go look.
it comes in different sizes.
Yeah, let me go look at it to see what they're offering for sizes. Yeah, I saw the question. I'm looking now, babe.
Let's see. I would suggest that you make your block at least 15 inches or 15 and a half inches because of the size that your
Okay,
hoops would be.
this block is, according to the freebie page, they have a 12-inch and a 9-inch. So if you're going to make the 12-inch, unless Cheri has a better idea, if you're not going to get it from the card deck, but from this website, they need to make like an extension off of it, right?
Yeah, but you could go with a smaller hoop, but you're going to have to move your hoop more often.
Yeah.
With the 12-inch.
Yeah, because this says 12-inch. I don't know if I can find a bigger block.
Let me see. No, that's okay.
But
yeah, they might have one already too.
Yeah, or they could. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, and I shouldn't do this. Listen, y'all. With this free Golden Gate block over on Patchwork page, you know what you can do to make it 15 inches? You just need to decide what size you want to make that center square. Make that bigger and then base everything you make on the outer perimeter on that size. So these rectangles. So here's an example. Let's say that center block is going to be 6 inches. Then all you need to do is make sure that you have the width of each block after that the same size.
Yep.
Did that make sense?
Yep. I just measured
or what Andrea says, put a sashing around it.
Right. This is 12 and a half inch, the hoop.
Yeah.
So I could do a 12-inch block because I'd have the backing bigger and the batting bigger, and that would be in the hoop. But I think I would do a sashing. I do like a 2.5-inch sash or whatever it would to bring it up to 15, only because it'll be easier for you to deal with this. Like you can see here, mine didn't quite fit in here, but I got it basted. But my batting and my backing is big enough.
Yeah.
So, and then if you get really small and you're in here and you can't quilt, then see you will have been doing it without a hoop, so you can finish it.
Hey Zaza, welcome. So here's a couple comments that's been made. Lana says, I've been cross stitching since I was 8 and I'm 62 now. Michelle says, if I think you have it on speaker view, I don't know what that means.
No, she means that on Zoom, if we did speaker,
yeah,
somebody highlighted or something.
Yeah, I must have did something, but you're pinned now, so they should be seeing everything you're showing them.
Okay.
Let's see. Brenda says, I don't baste. It can make it crooked. Okay. I didn't know that. Sandy says, what size do you suggest we make the block? Like she said, if you have a 12-inch hoop, you need to make it bigger, but you can improvise by modifying it.
I'd say,
Andrea says, just put a sashing around it. Yep. Zaza says, hello to Cheri and me. And then
hi, Zaza.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm starting on my 3rd. And of course I have a basting pin right in the middle of this row.
So these are the little, it's a shame. If I could send these to you, I would. Different ones. They're needle pullers. and they come 3 in a pack, and they sent me 3 packs.
Oh,
How will I ever go
wow.
through that?
Maybe
If anybody, just send me your address. If anybody wants one, I'll put it in an envelope and send it to you. Your name and your address. If you, and my email is Cheri Yurton at, you can say nc.rr.com, or it can be Gmail. And I'll just, your name, your address, and I'll put one in the, I got 3, 9, I have 8 available. So the
Okay.
first 8 people who,
All right. So we're at the 2-hour mark. So let's get some housekeeping done here.
okay,
Let me pin you. Okay. Number 1, your homework assignment is to practice on your scrap piece if you're a beginner like me. If you already know how to hand quilt, but you're going to quilt with us, either I will be doing a tutorial to show you how to make the Golden Gate block. We'll do it on the next live, and it shouldn't take very long to do it. That way we can get on with other things. If you have 2 choices about this part of your homework. You can either make it on your own if you already know how to do it, or you can get your fabrics cut and ready to go. And then when I do the tutorial next month, we will do the sew together for this part of it.
Yep.
That's doable,
and
right?
and we'll do a recap at the beginning, and any questions or things that may have come up during that time, you can ask. And
if you've got, now this card has 6-inch, 9-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch, and 36-inch for this block. Now, some of you might already have this because some might be doing Donna's sew along of Handmade by Ying. That block came out of box number 3. Okay. These boxes of cards, if this is the first time you've seen them, they have Boo Koodles blocks in here. And on the other side is different sizes along with what size you have to cut of all your fabrics to make it. But they're really cool. If you now I paid $16, I think, for mine, because I had to buy mine from Fat Quarter Shop because Amazon will not ship these to me in Greenland. Okay. So you can buy them on Amazon. Go if you want to buy this set so you can have this one block, but it has other blocks, as I was pointing out. You can do that too, and then you can make the actual 15-inch block and not have to worry about expanding out on the freebie block. But if you don't want to spend any money, which is what I was suggesting, you can modify your block to a bigger size if you want to. And if you need help with the math, contact either me or Cheri and we'll figure out the math on it. Actually, I'll probably sit down and figure out the math anyway. So if someone does ask, I'll tell you what size you need to make those blocks.
I wanted to say that Zaza has some good points. One is she finished hand quilting the quilt today.
All right.
And she did say that, you know, like I said, beeswax or something.
Oh,
she
you
said
told
you
me
could
to.
use a candle also to condition your.
That's right. You did mention me using beeswax, and that might be. If I'd have beeswaxed this, that might have went through that tiny head, right?
Yeah, and well, and yes, and another thing is that, like Zaza said, you could do use a candle, like a.
Well, I have beeswax. I haven't gone in my sewing room, and guess what? That's where all that beeswax is at. It's in one of those drawers.
Another thing she said, and you might have this, is you know the chamois that you use to. No, you don't have it because you don't have a car.
No,
But you know the ones that you dry off your car, the chamois?
Yeah.
The leather chamois, cut a square of that. That's good to as a needle puller.
I wonder if soft sealskin leather would work. You know, just cut off the hair off of it and just use the soft part of it. It's leather on the back side of the hair. You know, it's very soft leather.
I think it would work.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, because I have a couple scrap pieces. I actually have a few scrap pieces because you can go up to Great Greenland and buy scrap pieces like that.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
I enjoyed tonight. I hope everyone else did. And I hope you learned.
Andrea has a point. It might be in my 1,000 block book too. I'll look and see, Andrea.
Yeah.
You got to look in that book. All right. So homework. This, unless you already know how to do this, and then get yourself ready to do the Golden Gate Bridge. Or like Sherry says, we have, and we'll look at this poll here before I forget. We have suggested the Golden Gate because there's lots of open space for you to show your skill. And but if you want to use your own block, we are not going to get upset that you did that. Do
Right.
you? We just want you to come and participate. And Sherry, I'm so proud of myself. Look, I got 2 lines done. You see that? And I didn't freak out.
I know you did so good. Now you know you got something, another thing that is a relaxation
Check.
technique.
Learn how to do that. Check.
I'll show you how to whip stitch or just sew hand sew binding or something sometime.
I'm so happy about. Well, we speaking of that, this project we're doing it from start to end. So that means that at the end, Sherry's also going to teach us how to hand bind, and it'll be our own handiwork. None of this will be sewing machine done, right? Well, the piecing can be sewing machine done.
Yeah.
You know, for the block, we're going to use a sewing machine.
And you'll sew your binding on
on the front,
machine,
right?
and then you'll flip it to the back, and
she's going to teach us how to hand bind it on the back or the front, whichever you prefer. And because I want to learn how to do that, because I don't know how to do that. Actually, you know, it's a great thing to learn, and never hurts for us to learn anything new. It's good for our brains, especially the older we get. Hi, Fern King. Welcome, welcome. Fern King says, I have the blue box. So you have box, that must be box number 1. Yeah, the blue box is box number 1. Oh, and rumor has it, box number 4 is about to hit the market.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so I guess I'll be buying another box of them. They're cool because we could come up with our own patterns with those boxes.
Well, you know, they can take the box number 1 and pick a block that they may want to do.
Yeah, they can do that too.
So they don't have to get it something.
Yeah, if
different.
you already have one of those boxes, pick a block. Yeah, we're fine with that. Hey, one question before we cut this off. When we are pausing working, what do we do with this part?
Go ahead and I just put my needle in. Okay. I'll show you.
See what I mean? Like if you're going to stop for the night,
okay.
What do you do to make sure nothing comes undone?
So just, hold on.
Let me spotlight you so we can see. Hold on, so I can see what you're doing. Because I just realized I didn't ask that question, and another newbie might ask the same question. Go ahead.
You can go ahead and put your needle in and bring it back out. Then I grabbed all this, and then I go around, you know, like.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
It'll keep your thread from knotting too, and then you've got. And some people in their, except I get stuck, but in their borders they'll have some extra needles all wrapped up and ready to go. But
okay, well that's actually a great idea if you want to continue on and not have to stop.
But this way your needle won't come undone, or your thread won't get tangled.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because I just realized, wait, I didn't ask that question. Okay, thank you. All right, does anyone have any more questions before we shut down? Gotta go. Thanks for the review, she says.
Oh, yeah, we didn't know on the poll.
The poll. Yeah, let's do the poll real quick. So the question was, vote on which one you're doing for the tutorial. 8% says the Golden Gate, 11% says they're using their own block, and then 81 says they're going to watch. So I don't care as long as you come.
No problem. You'll get hooked. So if you're going to watch, think about doing a little practice while you're watching. Do a little square of batting and
Yep.
backing and top and practice some
practice.
stitches. It's fun. You'll be hooked.
You can
Kate's
definitely
hooked.
see I have bigger gaps on the back.
Now they aren't different, and it happens.
Okay.
People that are really good can keep them pretty consistent, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to take time to do that.
Oh yeah. It's working on the front first.
All right. Before we cut off, Sherry, tell everybody about your channel, and I'm going to share your link one more time.
Okay. I have a channel that's Sherry Yurton, my quilting world. And I like to either share with you what I've been doing. I will do some tutorials, and I'm going to be doing my first real live on the 25th, I think, Tuesday. It's So Talk Tuesdays. And I'm gonna do that. I did a mini one because I messed up with my video. So this is, we'll do that. So you can come and join me. I like to just share what I'm doing and show projects and techniques.
Yep. And Andrea says that I need to unpin you. And Andrea says the only reason she's watching today is because of her hands hurting. We know that the weather's causing you issues right now, so it's okay. We'll see you come sew with us on the next go around. Lori wants your email, so tell me slow what your email is where I can post it in the chat.
CHERI YURTIN at N like in Nancy, C.RR.com.
Oh, that looks like a Comcast email address.
It's a Roadrunner, like, but I have a
Roadrunner,
Gmail.
yeah. Comcast went to Roadrunner, right?
Yeah, I have a Gmail address too, and all you have to do is SherryYurton at gmail.com, and I'll get that too. So if you'd rather remember my name and just do Gmail, that's not a problem.
Okay, there you go, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori.
All right.
Any questions?
Thank you, everyone. And remember that my next live is Thursday starting at 4:30 p.m. Thursday, we are going to start our GreenlandQuilter quilt along that has to do with using our charm packs to make a scrappy quilt from it. And we're designing this quilt as we go along. The block that I have that I haven't written out yet, it should come out to be about 16 3/4. But Thursday, when we start to sew, bring your charm packs if you haven't already done the separation of them. If you've already done the separation and you've created your 4 patches, bring as many of them as you've done, because we are going to spend the whole live making 9 patches from 4 patches. And that'll be the first half of the sew along.
Right.
So don't forget about that. And thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Make sure to live, laugh, love, dream. And what do you do from all of that? You create something beautiful. Good night, everyone, and see you on the next live.
Thank you.
Some of the needles we have are like this.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
They're that long? Yep. Wow.
Like I said, biggest thread is 8 millimeter.
I can't even comprehend what that is in 8 millimeters. That's like, what, this big?
Yep.